Stretch out the dreams from my mind. Granny's got the scoop, let's unwind. Birds are chirping, singing their tune. Mystery of the day coming soon. Cup of tea and a buttered scone. Start the day, we're never alone. Good morning, rise and shine. Granny's here with stories so fine. Good morning, off we go. To greet the world with a happy glow.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful morning so far. Grab your coffee, your cappuccino, your espresso, your tea, your juice, whatever it is you drink in the morning. Let's get started. And we always start out our morning with Spotlight on the Missing. And today we're talking about Amaya Bloker. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but Amaya's been missing since April 5th, 2025, last seen in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. She's a 15-year-old female, 5 feet 1 inches tall, 117 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. She was last seen in her residence in Goodlettsville, Tennessee on April 5th. She was seen wearing a red and black Scarface t-shirt, flannel sleeping shorts, and a True Religion black hooded sweatshirt. So authorities are asking if you have any information, please contact the Goodlet Police Department, 911, TBI, 1-800-TBI-FIND. It's important that we find these kids. I've been actually focusing on Tennessee because an average of 500 to 600 kids under the age of 18 go missing every month in Tennessee. And we figured out the numbers. There are 2,300 kids that go missing every single day in the United States. 25% of those are from Tennessee. So, guys, keep your eyes open. If you see something, say something. We have another young girl that's missing, Sina DeLong. She's been missing since April 9th, 2025, last seen in Chattanooga, Tennessee. 17-year-old female, 5 foot 1 inches tall, 140 pounds, red hair, and brown eyes. So she may possibly be in the areas of Chattanooga, Tennessee, or Ringgold, Georgia. So if you have seen her, please say something. Call 911 Chattanooga Police Department or 1-800-TBI-FIND. All right, so that's the end of our missing spotlight on children this morning. I'm trying to show a couple every day just to kind of stay on top of the missing children in Tennessee. And please, I'm not ever saying that children that go missing from other places are not important. All missing children are important. So if you have someone that you know of is missing and needs some awareness, please feel free to email me. I'd be happy to spotlight them. My email is grannyscrimebusters, all one word, @gmail.com. So please, if you have anyone from your state that you want to be spotlighted, I don't care where they're from. It doesn't matter because all missing children matter, right? I just only picked Tennessee because I've been working on the Sebastian Rogers case and because there are so many that are missing there. And I really believe that trafficking is involved. All right, so let's get into our story for today. going to share my screen with you. I've seen this the last few days, right? I have seen it. I've seen actually maybe last couple of weeks. And authorities have said that there is no serial red rummer, right? But now an 8th body was found. And I can imagine how people in that area are feeling, guys. I would be feeling the same way. If you look at, let me see here, pull this up for you. If you look at the map of the missing and how close together they're being found, it's kind of scary if you think about it. So it starts March 6th, March 19th, March 21st, March 25th, April 9th, April 10th, April 22nd. It's scary, right? Now, I don't know if there are similarities, but let's listen to this newscast to find out what they're saying.
Welcome back. This morning, we're shining a spotlight on the New England region as a serial killer may be at work. An 8th body was recently discovered there. According to reports, the remains have been found since March in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. And while law enforcement has not yet confirmed the serial killer theory, the fear continues growing each time a new body is discovered. The Hampton, Massachusetts district attorney issued a statement saying in part, quote, while online conversations around these incidents continue to grow, we urge the public to be mindful of the role that social media can play in spreading fear or misinformation. At this time, there's no indication that these incidents are connected to each other or are part of a larger public safety threat.
So keep that in mind, guys, that there is nothing to say that they are connected, okay? So I'm not talking about this to spread fear. But people in that area have to be concerned, right? Bodies are being found. There's 8 of them now, right? In a fairly small area, if you think about it. So while we're not trying to cast fear or, create any fear, awareness is important. People should be aware of their surroundings. And sometimes when we feel safe, we get complacent and we're not paying as much attention as we should to our surroundings when we go out and about, especially single women, right? I think sometimes they just have no fear. They're, and guys, it could be an issue, right? So let's continue.
So what is going on there? Well, to help us answer some of those questions, we want to bring in now someone who's been following this case very closely, is on the ground there. Let's bring in our friend, nationally known radio host and the creator and host of the show Road Patrol Live, John DePietro. John, good morning to you. Share with us, if you would, please, some of the areas where you've been and the things that you've learned while on the ground there, please.
Julie, I can tell you right now that this is almost becoming like a full-fledged panic. And as you said, every time a body is discovered, people immediately link it to and think that it could be the work of a serial killer. I've been on the ground for 3 of the different searches. And what I mean by that is it's someone that's discovering human remains, whether it's a hiker, someone just out in the woods, you had a situation of a hunter. But this online presence, the groups of people, that's what's really fueling it. I think I've also discovered, Julie, something, as you know, whenever there's an investigation, police are pretty tight-lipped and don't say anything. As a result of that, social media, many of the people interested in the possibility of a serial killer, they take that as just free will to then run with it. there's something else at play here, and that is the amount of self-harm cases. Police are not in the business of revealing if they locate a body and there was self-harm done, and that's out of respect to the individual, to the family. The silence of the police, and I'm not knocking the police or criticizing them, but people are interpreting that as police are hiding something. So the video that you're showing right now, that was a very extensive search. FBI, Homeland Security was involved for 2 days. There was the body of Heather Losford that was dug up. And then also there's another missing person case, Michelle Romano. Her remains were found in late March, right on the Rhode Island-Connecticut border. And then just 10 days later, more human remains were found on the Connecticut side. Now, Michelle, we had been working that case as a missing persons case since the fall. It's still unclear exactly how her body ended up there. Police have said that it was a death of suspicious nature. But where things really went to the next level, there's an area of Narragansett, Rhode Island called Black Point. And in this group, New England serial killers, an anonymous poster, and people always have to be careful of these anonymous posters in some of these groups, they posted that there were in fact bodies buried at Black Point. It's right near Scarborough Beach in Narragansett. As a result of that, law enforcement went out there for 2 days with the canines. I was speaking with the police. They said, John, if you go live, this is going to blow this thing open and it's going to flame it up. So we were able to get some footage. But right now, and I want to emphasize this for the public, Julie, the police have not confirmed any link. But make no mistake about it. People are definitely on edge. It is unusual.
Right.
But something else I want to point out to people is
Sure.
a lot of people that are unhoused, homeless, they gather by the water. And a lot of times they have a drug problem, they have an alcohol problem. So now, whenever there could be just a homeless person who falls into the water, tragically drowns, every time a body is washing up, people immediately start thinking it's the serial killer at work again. So I think it's a combination. It is unusual about all these bodies that are being found. Whenever you have someone found in a shallow grave, like a missing person case I was working, Charlotte Lester, and then they did find her body in a shallow grave back in November, certainly that's very alarming. And there's a large number of women. But I think the key right now is police are not making any connection.
Right.
So, guys, I want to bring something else up, right? And I encourage you to go and look at my live video from last night where I talk about human trafficking. This may not be a serial killer. Police are not finding anything to connect that it is at this time, right? And so they're saying, don't get hysterical, right? Don't create mass hysteria. And I agree with them. But let's just throw this out there. If these people that are being found, he mentioned self-harm. Could traffickers that are having issues with certain people, certain victims, could they be making it look like self-harm and dumping these bodies? I mean, anything is possible out there, guys. Human trafficking is huge. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So before we jump to serial killers, maybe we should take a look at that, right? Is it a part of a trafficking organization that is dumping their victims? He was talking about missing persons. Well, that's key in a trafficking situation. Or it could just be somebody who ran away from home and didn't feel like life was worth living anymore. No matter what way you look at it, it's very, very sad, right? But I do agree with law enforcement. Let's not jump to conclusions. Let's put options out there and see what fits, right? traffickers are very intelligent people, guys. They know how to evade the law. They have people in prominent places in their back pockets. The digging that I have done, and I've just scratched the surface, is really scary. But let's continue on.
This is really helpful, John. Tell me, in terms of what we know about these victims, do we know if they're all female victims?
See, that's the thing. Most of them are. But for instance, there was someone found in Pawtucket in the river. He had fallen. We don't know what exactly happened. A boat had found him, but he was a male. Most of them seemingly are women. I'll say that. And it is, people need to understand in New England, it's not that far. So you really have 3 different states, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. Most of the victims are women over the age of 40. But people should understand this is not an example of maybe someone, a hitchhiker, not that anyone does that anymore or anything like that. There's all different circumstances that have first led the women to be announced that they were missing, and then the human remains being found.
Sure.
I spoke with the police, and they told me this is not a tipster. You have people that, especially this time of year, like to get out and hike and walk. Back in the fall, with 2 of the bodies that were found, it was hunters that had found them that had been out. But right now, again, I want to caution the public. Any talk of the serial killer, it is being driven online. I get asked about it every single day. A police officer just asked me about a half hour ago. But right now, they don't have the classic signs of there have been situations, maybe someone picks up prostitutes or some forth and then takes them out or things like that. These seem to be all different circumstances. And I also caution people, as one police officer said to me, if in fact they do arrest someone, this could come into play with reasonable doubt if someone floats out, hey, it's not me, it's that serial killer out there.
Right. That's another great point, John. John, such great video that you've shared with our network, where we're seeing so many people at work at the various sites where you've been when they're finding these bodies. Last question, please. And I know we have to let you go and get into the courtroom in Massachusetts because you're also covering the Karen Reed case. You cover so many different cases. But in this one in particular, I would imagine, are your law enforcement sources telling you that they're working together, these 3 states where the various bodies have been found? Are they all kind of working in conjunction to make sure information is being properly transported?
Good question. And the answer is, they weren't, but they're starting to because of the amount of furor that's going on online. And they realize they need to all be on the same page.
Right. It's key making sure everyone is communicating, as you know, transmitting that information. And gosh, let's hope it's not a serial killer at work. John DePietro, stay safe out there. We'll look forward to talking with you about.
Okay. So there you have it. Mostly women over 40s, 1 male. Traffickers do take males as well, guys. There obviously is a demand for that. Women over 40, I don't know. I haven't looked into trafficking enough. But, I think we should look at all aspects, look at all possibilities to see what's going on here and not just automatically jump to serial killer, right? I think that's important. But I will tell you this, if I lived in New England, I got to tell you that I'd be very careful when I went out, right? I think I'd have pepper spray on me. I think, it's understandable that there's fear out there when there's 8 bodies that have been found, right? That's very understandable. So I want to thank you guys for being here today. I appreciate you. Again, please go and look at my video that I did. Well, actually, it's a couple nights ago now on human trafficking. And see what you think, and Thank you so much for being here. Please, please hit the like button on your way out. I would really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe and the notification bell and change it to make sure you get all the notifications so that you are notified when we go online live, which is most nights 5 p.m. Central Time. We are building a great community and we would love to have you there. Thank you so much and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at grannyscrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.